here for the show tonight to interview our special guest, show highlight, the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show, the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Tune in for all the news and scores, reporting on the games and so much more. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alan Alford Sports Talk Show.
Welcome, everybody, to another awesome and amazing episode of the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. So glad to have you join us. And make sure to turn this music off here. So great, we got to play it a second time, right? Really appreciate you all joining us here on the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. You're in for a real treat, real great time. I see you there, Mickey Delaney. Really appreciate you joining in. How you doing? It's awesome. All right. We have a fantastic show for you guys tonight. And the live chat, as you see, is working. It's on. It's right there. So appreciate you. Really appreciate you, Mickey. Yeah, so let's go ahead and unpack this show. First and foremost, let me go ahead and just give major shout outs to a few people here. If you haven't seen it already, I'm going to put it up for you right now, just in case you haven't seen it. Right there, folks. We are doing things big here on the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Right there. Let's Talk Sports, sponsored by Diamonds Casino, which is fantastic. That is an opportunity that you guys provided us here on the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Starting in January 2026, I will be the co-host of Let's Talk Sports, sponsored by Diamonds Casino. Alan Alford Sports Talk Show is not going anywhere. We're expanding. That's right. Among a lot of the things I'm already doing, we added something else. Let's Talk Sports, sponsored by Diamonds Casino. Great thing about this show, it is going to be right here, my guy, Rudy Reyes. He's going to be the one that is going to be the show. He brought me on board to be the co-host. So I'm going to be the co-host of this outstanding show that we're starting, Let's Talk Sports. And Rudy Reyes, I got to thank him. He made it all possible, this opportunity. You know, it just goes to show you that when you, yes, and that's the great thing is, let me show you here. I'm so happy Rudy is an awesome person. He is. You know, this is a opportunity that really was a shock to me. It really was. You know, what ended up happening was Rudy had asked me to be just a guest on his show. He asked me a couple times, and I definitely graciously agreed. The first time we had to reschedule about two or three times. No big deal. The second time, he got even busier. We had to schedule quite a few times, but on my side, there was no frustration. Just having a show. I know things come up. We ended up doing a second show, and then subsequently we did a third show. But apparently there was something about me that he really admired. And lo and behold, fast forward, he got this opportunity. And he's going to be in Diamond Casino. And he asked me to be his co-host. And I was definitely flattered. So it's definitely a great honor for me to start 2026 being a co-host of Let's Talk Sports. And in fact, let me show you guys some more pictures here. That's the casino right there. Diamonds Casino in Reno, Nevada. Now, I just want to clear something up. Rudy is going to be in Nevada, Reno, Nevada. I'm going to still be doing the show, but remotely. So we'll be doing like we have been before and go from there. I just know how these things work. When we do a fantastic job for the casino, I would not be surprised if they wanted me to go ahead and do it in house. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Great thing about the show, it's going to be right there in sportsreno.com. And on top of that, it's going to be available for you guys as well right there on Fox Sports Reno Radio 630 AM. So there you go, Fox Sports. So we're definitely expanding. It's going to be a great opportunity. I'm going to definitely tell Mickey that you said hi. And let me show you here again. That's in Diamonds Casino. And it's another picture of the man, the myth, the legend, Rudy Reyes, right there. So again, he's the show host. I am the co-host. So there you go. The times of the show is going to be determined. So I'll let you know that when that comes to fruition, the time and date. And there is a 3-hour delay. 3-hour gap in time frame. That was another thing that we had to kind of work through when we first met each other. There's a gap in time. So we was able to work through that, make things work. And, thank you. I'm very, very appreciative of Rudy for making this opportunity possible. So definitely he posted it up yesterday. I posted it up today. I didn't want to just put a quick little thing. I wanted to give a little bit more description of what's going on. So looking forward to Let's Talk Sports along with the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Not going anywhere. So yes, Rudy is awesome. It is truly awesome. And yes, he is. Definitely. I tremendously appreciate this opportunity. It's a real blessing. It really is. I don't take it lightly. And no, that's okay. I figured you meant happy. That's all right. Yeah, Rudy is he's extremely happy. He's over the moon. For people who don't know, he's been in the business for 13 years. And he finally got a breakthrough with the show, Let's Talk Sports. And, it was just perfect timing. He asked me to be the co-host, and I was like, I was honored. I was flattered and really surprised. It just goes to show you that when you treat people kind and respectfully, and you just never know what can happen. I really didn't anticipate to be the co-host of his show, but he was really impressed that, I didn't get frustrated with the rescheduling and just the way I just went about my business. He was impressed. He said I was very different than most people that he's come across. So that was awesome. That was awesome. So, hey, no worries there. Yes, so definitely look forward to that. That is an outstanding opportunity. I'll give you more details as they come in. It's kind of ebb and flow thing, but yep, definitely look forward to that. And yes, indeed. So definitely want to thank Assist Sports, because with Assist Sports, I was able to go ahead and call the Bucs game. They had a Bucs game on Sunday, short turnaround on Thursday, and man, oh man, the Bucs. To me, to lose both games to two losing teams, the Saints, as well as to lose to the Falcons last night, it's just unacceptable. Yes, they still have a chance. It was a 70% chance if they won yesterday's game. It went down to 54% chance. So they still, even as poorly as they looked recently, they still have a very good chance to make the playoffs. It really depends on how they end the season off. That's what it all comes down to. I think they still have a chance to make it. The bright spot about them playing so poorly was that Mike Evans was frustrated. Coach Todd Bowles was frustrated. The entire team was frustrated, and they should be frustrated because, first of all, you shouldn't have lost to the Saints. And me calling the game, I felt as if the game on Sunday was getting away from them and they probably were going to win, was during halftime, right before halftime, they had like 11 seconds, and they kept playing with no timeouts. They kept playing games when it came to kicking the field goal. I'm like, listen, just go ahead and kick the field goal. You have no timeouts. Kick the field goal. I know it was raining. I know it would have been a pretty decent long kick, but I would have attempted it. And on top of it, the Bucs, what did they do? I said, hey, don't run another play, because if you run another play, I said this before the play happened. If you run another play, you could get an offensive penalty, and it'll take you out of field goal range where you won't even attempt to kick the field goal. What did they do? They did a holding penalty, and lo and behold, just like I said happened. They had a penalty. They're further back 10 yards in the rain. They didn't even attempt to kick. Once that happened right by halftime, I just knew they weren't going to win the game. I said, you know what? Either you don't really want to win the game, or you're playing too many games and you're just taking things for granted where you think you could do whatever and still win a game against a losing team, the Saints. Well, I was right on that when they lost the game. Fast forward to Thursday night, and I knew that the Falcons, first and foremost, when you get down to the end of the season and teams are out of the playoffs, you still have to take them seriously. Reason why is because they want to be on spoiler alert. They want to be on spoiler alert. They want to have good film of themselves for maybe a contract. So you can't just take it for granted because someone has a losing record and they're out of it. They're just going to give you an easy win. That's not usually the case. And the Falcons, I didn't think they were going to give you an easy win because, number one, they have B. John Robinson back there, who's a baller. And, you know, he was playing. And Kirk Cousins has something to prove because he's playing and he wants to at least audition for maybe the Falcons or another team. So people had something to prove. So I didn't think it was going to be an easy win, but if the Bucs did what they're supposed to do, they should have won this game. That's just flat out. If you had Mike Evans playing, you understand? You had guys coming back. So to me, this was an unexpected loss. Now, Emeka Ebuka, he has been playing. He played better last night. But I'll be quite frank with you. My son, who watched the game with me, gave Emeka Ebuka's rating for the year a 6 out of 10. A 6 out of 10. 10 being the best. He gave him a 6. That's about what I would rate Emeka Ebuka too. He came out the gates like a 12, and it just after the 5 games has been just like flat. Flat. Last game again, he played really well Thursday night, last night. But there was too big of a period with lull. He should have caught that touchdown pass against the Saints. That difficulty level of that catch is like a 7 at most, 7.5 tops. I even gave him grace on that ball that was outside. I'm talking about Sunday's game where it was kind of curving to the outside. It was raining, so that type of ball you have to catch with your fingertips. And I gave him grace on that. But, man, Emeka Ebuka, the reason why he's dropping all these balls is because that success in the beginning part of the season, I feel, got to his head, where he's playing without a sense of urgency. When you're in the NFL, you always got playing for something. You are always playing for something. You got to create something in your mind to motivate you. You want to have good film of yourself. You are always playing for something. Versus he's playing kind of like a guy who feels like he's already got it already. He's a vet. He's already got the respect from his teammates. He's good. No, you had the rookie year pretty much lined up for you. Now, if it was me as a voter, I would see if there's another player out there that's been more consistent and played throughout the year. Maybe not come out the gates as hot as Emeka did, but I would look for another player, quite frankly, because it's just the production. And I'll tell you who's been balling out. Let me just take a look here. Who's been balling out for the Bucs this season? You know, Baker has been up and down, more ups than down, I would say. The running backs have really played really well. Bucky Irvin has played outstanding when he's played. Rashad White has been baller. And undrafted free agent Sean Tucker has been baller as well. The running backs have been playing on the defensive end. I say the best defensive player, you know, Yaya Diaby. And but outside of that, Jamel Dean has been solid this year as well. Definitely hoping that he continues to stay with the Bucs. But yes, and Antoine Winfield, he'll make that splash play. But the Bucs really need to look at themselves in the mirror. You saw Mike Evans, his frustration. I can't disagree with him one bit. 3rd and 28. 3rd and 28, and you find a way to lose a game. Up 14 going into the fourth quarter against a team, you're at home, a team that is already eliminated, and not to say that they're just going to roll over and let you win, but man, you made Kyle Pitts Sr. look like he was, you know, better than Tony Gonzalez, who was calling the game. I mean, he was just 3 touchdown passes, just baller. And the Bucs really need to wake up and start tighten up the belt. You still have a 54% chance of making it even after that loss. You got to do better. You got to take some personal accountability. I appreciate that, Tiffany. Really appreciate that, Tiffany Roderick. Thank you so much. Appreciate the love. Always appreciate that. Thank you. And it's just disappointing that the Bucs would let it come to this. I mean, you are better than this. You have too much talent. And I will go as far as saying this, that if the Bucs do not make the playoffs, or if they make it and let's say get bounced first round, easy exit, I hate to say this, but I think that's the end of the road. You heard it first here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show from Todd Bowles. I mean, there's no other place to go. If your coach is giving you a profanity-laced tyrant at the end of the game in the presser, you know things are not looking good. And from experience, I've been in locker rooms where they've been losing a lot. Usually when the frustration gets that high, it's usually not a good thing for the coach. So he feels it, I'm telling you. But yeah, if they don't make the playoffs, it's absolutely, I feel like, unfortunately for Todd Bowles, I hate to see somebody lose their gig and an opportunity, but I feel like that's going to happen. And if they make it and get an early exit, I think that's still going to happen too. But there might be a little bit of grace if there's an early exit. But I think if you don't make the playoffs and you're Todd Bowles, I don't see another way. There's just too much talent on that team. There's just way too much talent on that team. Emeka Ebuka, Mike Evans. And I know that Mike Evans is not the Mike Evans' prime. My son said it, and I agree. He's looking a little old. He runs a play. He do it like this. He get that substitute. He coming out, But you still have Yaya Diaby, Levante David, Bucky Irvin, Sean Tucker, as I mentioned, Rashad White, Antoine Winfield Jr. I mean, you have just too much talent. Baker Mayfield, too much talent in that team. And with that start that you have to make the playoffs. So the Bucs, wake up call galore this weekend. You lost 2 games against 2 losing opponents that have both been eliminated. The Falcons maybe not weeks ago, but the Saints, their record. One other thing I would say on the Bucs too is I feel like they had fool's gold in the beginning of the season. They won, all those games in a row, 4 games, I believe, in a row. And I feel as if because they won those games at the last moment, they felt as if their head got too big, that they could kind of out-offense all the teams in the league. No, that's not the case. You can't out-offense some of these teams out here. The Rams, you cannot out-offense them. And the Buffalo Bills, you cannot out-offense them either. The way that you have to win the games, talking about the Bucs, is you do your offense, got to get Mike Evans involved, got to get Emeka involved, and your running backs, and you play solid defense. You don't have the top-tier juggernaut offense where you not only do I say that in not putting you down or anything, but those teams have a very dynamic range of offensive plays. I've been calling the games on assist live on assist.com, assist sports, and the Bucs do not have that type of explosive, really dynamic offensive playbook. It is, quite frankly, somewhat basic of an offense. You just don't have it. It's not saying anything bad, but you got to know who you are. You have offense, it's enough to win games, but you have to play solid defense. Because if you don't play solid defense and you're playing against a team like the Rams, team like the Bills, the upper echelon of teams, you're going to lose. I'd even throw the Falcons in there too. The Falcons have one of those type of offenses that can get hot. Drake London was not playing. So they do have playmakers. The Bucs got to understand that we don't have that top tier type offense. We have middle of the road, maybe above middle of the road in most cases, but we're not going to be a gunslinging type team where we're going to go blow for blow. You got to play solid defense. Solid defense means pass rush. I love what they're doing, giving them fairness. I love what they're doing that they're not calling blitzes every other down. I'm glad that they're doing that sporadically, the blitzes. It's been very effective. And you got to have some pass breakups back there. Interceptions. You got to do that. So tighten up the belt if you're the Bucs, because people have been calling that fact that you guys should be making the playoffs, and right now I see it slipping right in front of my eyes. Embarrassing loss. Mike Evans is 100% right. Should be frustrated. Hopefully this wakes people up. Because one of the things I'm starting to see, just letting you know, this last thing, one of the things I'm starting to see in the Bucs is you're starting to creep in with that Bush League culture it's starting to seep itself into the Bucs. Pre-Tom Brady, the Bucs would just go through the motions and act like they're playing hard. But someone like me who knows you're just going through the motions, you're not really playing with your heart and soul and really playing like you really want to win. You're just kind of putting on a show to go through the motions, hoping that no one notices. I starting to see that culture starting to come back, post Tom Brady. I'm starting to see it, and it's starting to rear its ugly head. A guy like Mike Evans, he could see it too. That's why he's frustrated. 3rd and 28. I could see it starting to creep itself into the Bucs. Not just this game, but it's been slowly but surely starting to come back. Get back to Tom Brady. What would Tom Brady do? And you'll start winning games. So let me go ahead and make sure I answered all of these questions here that we have here. Wake up, Bucs. Wake up. Let me make sure I answered the questions here that you guys have. Okay. How did a team eliminated from the playoffs play so well? Okay, very good. The reason why that they played so well is because, they have nothing else to play for. Nothing else to play for. When I say it like that, I'm meaning they still have film. They still have individual goals. They take pride in knocking you off that pedestal. They're not making it. Why not knock you off? You understand? So there's always something to play for. There is no give me easy type wins in the NFL. So I knew the Saints were going to come out there and play hard against the Bucs. They always do, division opponent. So it didn't surprise me at all that the Saints were in the game. Tyler Shuck made the Bucs look like a fool. He outplayed them. And the Falcons, I knew they were going to try to win too. Raheem Morris used to be the coach of the Bucs. So there is some personal attachment there. He doesn't want to, look bad in a team that unfortunately did parted ways with him many years ago. So yeah, there's always something to play for. B. John Robinson is always balling, so there's always something to play for. Find something to motivate you. That's what you need to do. Who on the Bucs has performed well? I mentioned the 3 running backs. Yaya Diaby. Baker has been more up than down this year, so that's always positive. And, that's Emeka started off hot and just been flat up until last game. It's nice to see him smiling again, but he's got to get back to the guy that was hungry. I feel like he's too lackluster right now. Yes, the guys think you could ball, but you need to play. You need to act like, hey, I still need to keep their respect. I need to earn their respect. I need to be a playmaker. Can't be lax. Can't be lax in this league. Because if you lax in this league, guess what? You're going to find the hard way. They don't play no games in the NFL. I'm not going to say it, but you in a Bucs uniform, you want to stay in a Bucs uniform, if you know what I mean. You got to ball out. Find something to wake you up. Why was Mike Evans so upset? Because he knows. He knows it's starting to become pre-Tom Brady culture, Bush League culture. That was there for quite some years. So he could see the writing on the wall. And he knows 3rd and 28. Come on, man. Come on. And even then, you were 2 scores up in the 4th quarter. You couldn't get a first down. You threw a pick. It's just sloppy football. And, I'll say this here. Can the Bucs still make the playoffs? They have a 54% chance, even with that loss. So it's not eliminating themselves. It still looks poor, but they still have a very good shot. See how they end this game. You got Carolina. You gotta win. It's must win on your last 3 games. Who was the game's MVP? My man Kyle Pitts Sr. Kyle Pitts Sr. was the MVP of the game. No doubt about it. MVP balling out. In fact, let's go to the videotape and I'm going to show it to you. My man Kyle Pitts Sr. just doing it big time, man. Yes, sir. Here we go. Kyle Pitts. Kirk Cousins looking for a target. Throws it complete to number 8. Pitts Sr. Touchdown. Pitts. Touchdown. Wait, folks, there's more. So, man, Pitts was doing it big time. Yes, sir. Yes, so, man. Kirk Cousins looking for a target. Throws it deep to Kyle Pitts Sr. Kyle Pitts Sr. gets a big gain. About 35, 40 yards. Kyle Pitts Sr. Looking for a target. Throws it. Kyle Pitts Sr. Touchdown! Kyle Pitts Sr. He doing his dance. Kyle Pitts Sr. doing a dance. Yeah. That's what you're getting there, right there. And I don't have the clip of the 3rd one, but man. Let me go ahead and show you some of the highlights here for the Bucs. They did have a few, so let me just show you those here. Let me pull those up for you guys. But yeah, it's let me just go ahead and pull that up for you guys. Let me just see it here. They hand off to Sean Tucker. And he touchdown, Sean Tucker, my guy. Undrafted free agent, another touchdown for Sean Tucker. Let's go, Bucs. Sean Tucker, undrafted free agent, my man balling out, doing his thing. Man, oh man. There you go. Play action pass. Baker looking for a target. Throws it deep to Mike Evans. He got it. Yes, he got it. About a 50-yard gain to Mike Evans. Woo! Mike Evans doing like this. Let's go. Let's go. Mike Evans. Nice to have him back. Woo! Mike Evans. Big gain. Big gain there, Mike Evans. But yeah. Yeah, it was always a pleasure on Sis Sports. Really, really appreciate them. Let me go ahead and give them their props there. Sis Sports live on Assist. So awesome. Live on Assist. And in fact, let me just make sure I have that date for you guys here for the next Bucs game. It's getting near the wire. Sunday, December 21st, Carolina Panthers in Charlotte at 1 o'clock Eastern time. So I'll be go ahead and calling the game. That is a must win for the Bucs. Must win. They're playing against the Dolphins a week later. Another must win. And they play to end the season, the Panthers. So at least you're playing the team that you have to beat 2 out of the 3 games. So yeah, it's time to show up or show out. It's time to show up or show out. 2 of the last 3 games are with the Panthers, starting the 21st. Then they get a game with the Dolphins. Then they back in. Then they play the last game. So you control your fate. If you're the Bucs, man, you got no excuse. You got to win these games. No excuses. As Coach said today, no excuses. If you're the Bucs, no excuses. 2 of the 3 games against your top competitor in your division, the Panthers, playing them next the 21st, last game of the season, and in between them, you're playing the Dolphins. Time to step up or step out. Go big or go home. So yes, and let me go ahead and pull this up here. Kyle Pitts Sr. was the MVP of last night's game. 3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. Ball alert. B. John Robinson was second. So there you have it. Loss for the Bucs. But as bad as it is, it's not over yet. So we're going to go ahead and switch gears a little bit and talk about Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers got the call that most athletes just dream about and wish about. A team has a need and wants to sign you. The Indianapolis Colts called up my man Phillip Rivers, and he got that call, and he said, yes, sir, I will take that opportunity and go ahead and see what I can do. And he said yes. At the age of 44, the young age of 44, got the opportunity that most guys just don't get in the NFL. So let me talk about that. First and foremost, before I get into Cam Newton, that's remarkable and outstanding for Phillip Rivers to get a phone call from the Colts that, yes, we can use your services, and yes, we need you, and we want to sign you and bring you in to see if you still got it. At 44 years young, to me, Phillip Rivers, he's winning. Whether he's winning on the field or not, you get an opportunity like that, you already won. Whether you win a game or not. 44 years old, painting the house, chilling, and in phone ring, text, the Colts want to sign you and give you an opportunity to play on the field, something you've been gone for some years now. That's remarkable. Outstanding. Congratulations to Phillip Rivers getting that phone call. All things are possible through Christ. He's got that phone call. So that's first and foremost. So, to the victor comes the spoils. My man Cam Newton completely throws underneath the bus Phillip Rivers' opportunity and his signing to say, you being this, I'm just paraphrasing here. You being the Colts, basically slapped me in the face, and I'm a much better option than Phillip Rivers is at 44 years young. You should have signed me, not Phillip Rivers. Paraphrasing what Cam Newton was basically saying. Cam, they weren't going to sign you, man. They weren't going to sign you. You know that. I know that. Even if they knew you were available. Let's start from the top. In business and in life, let me give you some enlightenment. Okay? A lot of times in business, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Meaning they had made their decision prior to calling Phillip Rivers. They wanted him as their guy. That's what it was. In life, that's how it goes. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Meaning someone knows you, someone admires you, likes you, and guess what? They'll give you an opportunity even when you're not expecting it. And that is, in a nutshell, why Cam Newton doesn't get these opportunities, because of immature Bush League comments and drama. The man has still not matured yet. This is what you do and say. Let me help you on what you should do and say if you want to play back in the league and you want to position yourself to play back in the league. First and foremost, congratulate the quarterback. You're a quarterback too. You play the position, so does Phillip Rivers. There is a mutual respect that you should have for your peer or former peers who are playing the same position you used to play. So this is what you do. Congratulations, Phillip Rivers. That is remarkable that you got this opportunity, that the Colts enlighten you with that just out of the blue. That is awesome. That is showing that no matter who you are in the league, whether you're in the league or out, there's always that chance your phone will ring. So, to all 32 teams, I really appreciate Phillip Rivers getting that opportunity. If you have a need and you want to go ahead and see what I can do, I can gladly come on down for a tryout for you to see what I can do. And I am available if you are interested. That's it. Congratulate them first and then tell them that you are basically available if there's an opportunity that you can help out, you can fill. That's it. Don't throw shade on someone who, again, played the position you played because they got an opportunity that you didn't get. And even if they knew you were available, trust me, there's a big difference in personality and style between Phillip Rivers and Cam Newton. That's why they call Phillip Rivers. There's also a maturity gap. Man, you should have got me. You should have picked me. You should have picked me. It's all about me. I was available. Well, first of all, it wasn't clear to me and a lot of other people that you were available because, look, you've been doing ESPN First Take with, Stephen A. Smith. And that's a fantastic opportunity. For all intents and purposes, you came to the conclusion that your football career at this time is over. You're turning a page and you're doing Stephen A. Smith First Take. To me, I would look at that as you're not available. That's just what I would look at it as. You're not available because another thing is you signed a contract too with First Take. I don't know how you can just pick up and say, hey guys, peace, I'm out. I'm going out to play football. I'm out of here. Maybe you can, but I would think there'll be some type of checks and balances on that. But yes, to be clear, if they knew you were available, you were not going to get that opportunity over Phillip Rivers. Let me just make that crystal clear because I think Cam sometimes misses the point. Even if they knew you were available, that opportunity to give Phillip Rivers, they had him on their, they already put him on the X. Like, this is the guy I want. It doesn't matter if him accepting it or not. So they weren't going to give you a call if you were available. But if you do want to be available going forward, you don't throw someone underneath the bus because they got an opportunity. That's childish, immature, and you never look good putting somebody else down because they got an opportunity Just doesn't look good. Just doesn't look good. Again, congratulations, Phillip Rivers. That's awesome that you got that opportunity. That's fantastic. I'm hoping that I will get an opportunity in the league for those who are interested or knowing. And if you have a need, please let me know. Try out, do whatever you ask, and go ahead and hopefully we can have a meeting of the minds and I can go ahead and serve you. So I am available if there's a need. That's it. You're not throwing somebody off the bus. You're just putting out there. You're congratulating the guy, Phillip Rivers, get who played quarterback like you did, and you're saying, I'm available just in case you need my services. And again, you wasn't going to get that job. So don't even think if they knew that ahead of time, I was going to get it over Phillip Rivers. Nope, no, and no. They wanted Phillip Rivers for the job. They have history. That's who they wanted. Now, what you know is who you know. Stop throwing quarterbacks underneath the bus. You play the position. It reminds me of like when I used to be a top performer in sales. Couldn't stand it where other salespeople used to come inside my business and just act like a jerk. And I'm like, don't you hate it when you're on the other side of the fence and you're working sales and people doing what you're doing? So why are you doing it to me and I work in sales and you work in sales? Like it boggles the mind. That's, it helps when you have maturity too. Don't put somebody else down to make yourself look good. Okay? And that's not how you go about telling people you're available. Because, again, I thought you weren't available either. You're doing first take. Got that gig. Got that opportunity. Stephen A. Smith. And all intents and purposes, you turned the page and closed that chapter on playing football. You had it open for a while. Nobody called for big time. And then you got other opportunities. Such as life. You can't just keep turning out opportunities. Cam, got to play your PR game. Got to play a PR game if you want to get back in the league and play in the NFL, be a quarterback. And last thing I'll say is this. If you do get an opportunity, talking about Cam Newton, stop trying to be the best dressed guy on the team. That doesn't have anything to do with winning games. Guys want to know that you got their back. That you're playing not just for yourself, that you're playing for the team, that you're in it for everything. And you can ingratiate yourself and be just one of the guys. You do that, you go and earn a lot of camaraderie with your teammates. They'll play harder for you because they know that it's not just about you and being the best dressed guy and being the coolest guy on the team. That doesn't work a lot of times when you're the quarterback. You understand? Maybe it works if you're another position on the team, but not the quarterback. It's a thought. Just a thought. And appreciate the opportunity you do have. You got a great gig there with Stephen A. Smith. Appreciate that you're doing that. There you go. And now we're going to switch gears. And we're going to talk about some baseball there. Oh, before I do that, let me go ahead and give you the predictions of this week. Let me pull that up here for you guys. Let me pull up the predictions for this week. And then we'll talk about, what happened there, Major League Baseball, the inductions. Let me go, well, induction, there's only one, but I'll talk about that. Okay. Let's go. Let me pull this all up here. Yes, Thursday Night Football, I got that one wrong. I did pick the Bucs to beat the Falcons. And now the Bucs are 7-7, 500 team. You got to do better, Bucs, man. You got to do better. You got to do better than that. Got to do better. Okay. You started off 4-0. I mean, you're out the gates. So let's go ahead and go over the picks. Ravens and Bengals, that should be a very, very good game. Should be very interesting. I just think the Ravens are going to pull this one out. Lamar is going to pull it out last moment. Eagles and the Raiders, I do feel as if the Eagles are going to hold off the Raiders, get back on track. Cardinals and Texans. I got the Texans winning, the Chargers and the Chiefs. I have, wow, this is going to be a very, very good game. Oh, that is something I need to talk about. I almost forgot. Let me stop right there. The Chargers and Chiefs. First and foremost, Justin Herbert. That was some Bush League tactic you pulled on Laura Rutledge. Let me just say it again. Justin Herbert, that was some Bush League tactic you pulled on Laura Rutledge. Major props to Laura Rutledge and her professionalism and her, cool, calm, and collective under pressure. First class. As a person who does interviews, has done over 500 interviews, the fact that she pulled off that interview and she did it with such class and poise under pressure, outstanding. Justin, stop letting the fact that you're dating Madison Beer get to your head, okay? Again, stop letting the fact that you're dating Madison Beer get to your head. Let's dial it back and get back down to brass taxes and reality here. First and foremost, yes, you play with a broken hand. Give you props for that. However, let's just be kind and call for what it is. You didn't have the best game. I think you would even admit that. You played the Chiefs, okay? Not the Chiefs of old, but you played this version of the Chiefs, and you beat the Chiefs, okay? This was not a postseason game. This was not a winner wins, you win the game, you advance to the playoffs. This was not that situation. Yes, it was an important game, but it wasn't season-defining game, and it wasn't Super Bowl, it wasn't a playoff game. Important game in the season. Yes, you're playing the Chiefs, not the Chiefs that we're used to seeing, and you won the game. And you played subpar in this game. You were on the sidelines. You were not playing offense. I can understand if you want to celebrate and you were charged up because you were on the field, you throw the game-winning pass. No, you were on the sidelines. One of your teammates made a great defensive play, got an interception, major props to him. But you can't tell me you are so inept of winning big games that you're going to celebrate like you won the Super Bowl and blow off your responsibility. You are the quarterback of the team. Always expect when you win a game or lose a game, they're going to go ahead and interview you. Let me just give you a heads up right now. Game over, they're going to walk up and want to interview from me whether I win or lose. Period. That is your responsibility and obligation. And this was a primetime game. Monday Night Football. You try to pull, I'm just going to celebrate my teammates. That's your responsibility. You're contractually responsible to give interviews because the NFL knows if they don't give that in the contract that you got to give interviews, you got to be accommodating to the media, you guys are going to want all the fans in the stadium, but you're not going to contribute to marketing the product, which is the NFL, doing interviews. And yes, a lot of the fans might say, the on-field interviews are a waste of time. But if you do the numbers across the league, more engagement happens when you go ahead and do those interviews. Yes, some of the fans dislike it. But if you look at overall, it's a positive thing because they can cut up those interviews. They can post them later. They can get your reaction later. So they do have value. You may not see it, but over the long haul, there is a lot of value. Plus, you're getting somebody's response right on the field as it happened. There was no reason for you to blow off that interview to Laura Rutledge. And yes, you did do the interview, but you did it reluctantly. You could just tell you reluctantly did the interview. Laura Rutledge, to me, deserves a gold star. And I hope her boss, producer, gives her a raise. Because to me, if that was me on the field and he was acting like that, a.k.a. Jerkville, I would have just let it go because me being a guy, that's another thing where a female does sometimes have an advantage. As a guy, if I would have pressed that interview, then it may have been a battle of egos and stuff like that. And it may have took a situation and went downhill. The interview probably may not have went well, and it could have been contentious. But being that it's, Laura Rutledge handled like a pro, and it is a female, that makes a difference. She was able to pull it off with class, grace, and elegance. I mean, she came out like a professional. And the crazy thing about that was my daughter literally came in the room 5 minutes before it happened and watched that. And I said, Justin Herbert was being a total jerk to her. He was being a total jerk to her. Like, hey, this is a guy being a jerk to you. This is sometimes how you have to deal with it. It was a teaching moment because that was Bush League what he did. Yes, he did the interview, but come on, man. She shouldn't have to kind of like pull your arm to do an interview after the game. You were on the sidelines. You didn't make the game-winning play. You weren't even on the field when the game was won. You didn't throw the game-winning touchdown. And act like you've been there before. It's a big game, but it wasn't, again, a playoff game, a season-defining game where if you win, you're in the playoffs. No. It wasn't a Super Bowl. Act like you've been there. Give the interview. Graciously give the interview. Again, if you lose or win, you're the quarterback. They're going to ask you for an interview after the game. Duh. Stop acting like the big head. Come on, man. You was being a jerk to her. And I'll be real with you. If you're Justin Herbert, you should apologize to Laura Rutledge. You should apologize to her because it was her class and professionalism and calm underneath pressure why that interview went off as well as it did. Laura Rutledge, man, 2 gold stars. That was fantastic. That was fantastic. As a guy who gets interviews, who's been on that field doing that, I would have let it go because I'm a guy, I know my place. It had probably got contentious or battle of egos, and it may have went, it wouldn't have started off on the right foot. But she got it. She got it. Props to Laura Rutledge. Gold star. Gold star. 2 gold stars. And, yeah, give her a raise, man. Calm, collective under pressure. Laura Rutledge. Justin, stop letting Madison Beer get to your head, man. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I said it during the game, and I'm saying it right here. He was being a total jerk to her. Justin Herbert was being a total jerk to Laura Rutledge. My daughter came in 5 minutes before it happened. I'm glad she did. Being a total jerk. And she said the same thing too. Props. Props. Do your interviews. You're not Marshawn Lynch. You're not. Marshawn Lynch is one of a kind. And let me go ahead and switch gears now and talk about Jeff Kent, my man. Congratulations to Jeff Kent. Let's talk some Major League Baseball here. And let me go ahead and give him his props, man. Getting voted in to the Hall of Fame, the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, to me, Major League Baseball, to me, as a person who's covered it 3 times in Cooperstown, I'm looking to cover it again, 2026. They'll have me. I'll be there. Props to Major League Baseball and props to the National Baseball Hall of Fame for that gracious honor for the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Always an honor and pleasure to cover Cooperstown. By far, to me, as a guy who covers multiple sports, making it to the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame is the toughest, in my opinion, to make it to any of the Hall of Fames. It is very difficult to make it. Sounds easy, 75%, but it's not easy. And the committee vote, you need to basically be 12 out of 16. Not easy to do, Jeff Kent, he did stellar. And, people might say it's the Hall of Good, but no, he leads home runs and second baseman. He's leading a lot of categories in the position he's playing, which is second base. When you look at the numbers, you peel them back, it is a deserving honor. Congratulations, Jeff Kent. He deserves it. Congratulations. He's earned it. And to the victor comes the spoils. So we have Bonds, Clemens, Gary Sheffield, all have 5 or fewer votes. So they do not qualify until 2031. 2031, they can do one more vote for them. If they get the same type of result they got this time, 5 votes or fewer, then it is sayonara or wrap, and the story. They will not be on the ballot for the committee, any of them, forever, basically. So they have one more crack at the bat in 2031. And that's all. And the reason why it got pushed only back to 2031 because they got 5 votes or less instead of 2038. 2028, I beg your pardon, 2028. It's now 2031. So they won't qualify for another 5 years, basically. And if they get 5 votes or fewer, it's a wrap. No more ballots, no more committee, no chance of making it. So the question is, what is this saying about? Let me read the question here. What is the committee saying about Bonds, Clemens, and Sheffield? They've already been saying it. Already, the Hall of Fame is saying it. With all due respect, those 3 gentlemen are going to have a hard time getting 75% vote or higher to go ahead and make it to the Hall of Fame. And I think the committee is basically saying we do not want any guys who have an asterisk where it's pretty substantial, meaning you're one of the, let's say, quote, unquote, poster guys who are connected to the Balco situation. We don't want you in the Hall of Fame. And as a person who's covered the Hall of Fame, when you walk in, the first thing that's on there is the integrity statement. These guys made it. These are outstanding baseball players, but they've shown integrity both on and off the field. That is one of the factors you got to determine when you're voting. And it's really kind of like a moral clause that you have to look at. And also, it's something internally, your integrity. You're voting. Are you going to ignore one of the rules and one of the foundations that they put on the ballot? And, it's unfortunate, but another reason why I don't think the committee wants to have some of the guys that are connected to this Balco situation is because in a way, you're going to open up Pandora's box. If you let Bonds in, you got to let Clemens in. You let Clemens in, you got to let Sheff in. You let Sheff in, you got to let McGuire in. These are guys who are Hall of Famers, meaning their numbers, even if they didn't do it towards the back end of their career, they, in a lot of people's eyes, are Hall of Fame talent and should be in the Hall of Fame. It's going to be a hard, tough go for any of them to make it to the Hall of Fame. I wouldn't say it's impossible because all things are possible through Christ, but you're going to have a major shift in thought process, outlook, and feeling about guys who are connected to, that Balco situation. Because outside of that, I just don't see it happening. To me, when it comes to Barry Bonds, the stat that gets him in the Hall of Fame, even if he doesn't pass Hank, even if he doesn't have 700 home runs, even if he doesn't have 600 home runs, the stat to me that a lot of people overlook, but to me as a voter that I'm voting for, is 500 home runs and 500 steals. Barry Bonds is the only person in Major League Baseball history that has 500 home runs, 500 steals. So to me, that's first ballot Hall of Fame. And it's unfortunate he's not in the Hall of Fame, but those are usually the decisions that people make. When you make those decisions, and they're borderline integrity type decisions, and you go left instead of right, you have to live with the consequences. You have to live with the consequences. And unfortunately, a lot of those gentlemen should be in the Hall of Fame, but they're not going to be in the Hall of Fame, unfortunately, anytime soon, because of poor ethical decisions. I tell this to my kids all the time. Be careful who you associate with. Be careful what your integrity matters. Integrity matters. That's why I was so pumped up about that Terrence Crawford thing, because I felt like you were seeing a breach of integrity, and that could spill into kids doing the same thing. So it's going to be tough for those gentlemen to make it to the Hall of Fame. And I think the biggest thing is because of the connection, and then they have to open up Pandora's box, and I don't think they don't want to go down that road. So I think it's going to be really tough. 2031 is 5 years from now. The committee is making it. They've been saying it, not just this vote, prior votes, but even this vote is even more glaring. 5 votes or fewer. So not even 2028. You got to wait to 2031. 2031, unless there's a shift in the outlook, which I don't see happening, it's a wrap. It's out of here quicker than any one of those guys' home runs, except for Roger Clemens. It's faster to the plate than one of his fastballs. I don't see it happening. It's an unfortunate situation, but I would have to say I can't disagree with it. Don't put me, Alan Alford, in a position where you're hoping that I do something to ignore my integrity, because it's not something that's going to happen. And I think that's what's happening with the committee. It says it right there, integrity. And do I think they're Hall of Fame talents? Absolutely. Alex Rodriguez could be in there too as far as Hall of Fame talent, but Alex will be the first one to admit that he made some bad choices and compounded it with even more bad choices. So you have to, this is how the cookie crumbles. And sometimes you have to live with integrity. We saw that here with coach from Notre Dame. I'm not going to go through all those details tonight, but integrity matters. And what you're doing on and off the field matters. And yep. So no, I don't see it happening for those gentlemen. It's I really don't. I don't see it happening. I really don't. I've been saying that for a while now, but situation like what you saw this week is pretty glaring. It's just man, the guy that you tussled with and had up and down relationship with, Jeff Kent and Barry. If Jeff Kent's getting in before Barry, that's showing you how much they have already made their decision up, how much they've made their decision. Because Jeff is definitely a great player, and Hall of Fame worthy, but there's a gap there between the Barry Bonds, the Gary Sheffields, the Rogers, the McGuires, and Jeff Kent. I mean, not throwing shade on it, but there's Hall of Famers and there's Hall of Famers. So props to Jeff Kent. He deserves it. He got it. He got it before those other guys. Integrity matters. That's the thing. Integrity matters. So we're going to end on that note. If you can go to bed at peace at night and know that you did something that did not violate your integrity, sleep with a good night's sleep this weekend. Have a great weekend. Definitely want to go ahead and give some props before I roll on out of here to my man, none other than Sam Scholar Songs. He's got a new album out. Make sure you guys check it out. In fact, let me go ahead and read what he wanted me to make sure I tell you guys about. Let's pull this up here. Sam Scholar Songs. Let me just take a look here. Yep, Sam Scholar Song Collection Volume 43 is out. Go Patriots, he says. Sam Scholar Songs. He does all the music for our show here, the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Thank you to Sam Scholar Songs and his wife Mary. Just came back from vacation. Really appreciate you. All of the songs, and including his new album, are available on YouTube and Spotify. Definitely check that out. Some awesome sounds, awesome music. And guess what? We have an opportunity for you to talk and meet with Sam Scholar Songs. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. That email is for deals and it's for deals and opportunities. It's not for spam, please. So make sure you keep that in mind. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. So without further ado, we're going to roll on out of here. That's his poster there, saying Sam Scholar Songs. We're going to roll on out of here with a Sam Scholar song. So you guys have a wonderful weekend. Be blessed. Be well. Tremendously appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the chat messages. Thank you for your support. Thank you for putting us in a great position for opportunities. You guys are wonderful. Really appreciate you tremendously. Be blessed. Be well. I will be back on Friday night again. 8:30 p.m. CST, 9:30 p.m. EST. Take care of yourself. Have a great night. And I'll see you next Friday. Let's go.
It's the end of the show.